What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the cost of living in one of my favorite places, Jupiter, Florida. And I'm going to break it down by the cost of housing, taxes and insurance, utilities, and the cost of food. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? This is Realtor Ray Petrick with Remax Island Properties right down here in Singer Island in the Palm Beaches of Florida. If this is your first time to our channel, be sure and hit the like and subscribe button because we're putting out new content every week. That way you'll get notified every time we put out a new video. Now, honestly, we get people calling us every week looking to relocate here, move here, or even just buy and sell real estate in the Palm Beaches. So if you're thinking about moving here or you just want to buy and sell real estate down in the Palm Beaches, you can get a hold of us by phone, by text, by email. Heck, you can even send me a message in a bottle because that works too. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back if you're thinking about buying or selling real estate in the Palm Beaches. So right off the bat, let's talk about where Jupiter, Florida is. It's just north of Juno Beach and it's just south of Tequesta. And it's just about 20 miles north of West Palm Beach. And it is on the northern part of the Palm Beaches. So let's talk about your biggest expense, and that's going to be housing. Now, the housing prices in Jupiter, Florida have been going absolutely berserk lately. And the median price, according to Realtor.com, is something like $396,000. But there's not a lot of those homes available. And when properties come on the market in the low to mid threes, they are gone immediately. So if you're thinking about moving down here, you want to be ready to buy when you get here, or maybe even before you get here. Now, condominiums and townhouses, that's a different story. There's a number of those properties that sell in the low twos or even just under $200,000, up into the twos, the threes, the fours, just depending on where it's at in Jupiter, how close it is to the beach, and what community it's in. So you can buy a property in a much lower price point depending on that. Now, if you are thinking about selling your property in this marketplace, wow, what a great time to maximize your investment and get the most money for your property. And if you are thinking about selling, you need to call. We need to talk.
Hello?
Now, rentals, there are some one-bedroom apartments going for around $1,000 or so. But really, if you want to get into something for a 2 or 3 bedroom, you're going to pay $1,800 to $2,000 a month minimum, and they're going to go up to $2,500 to $3,000, and depending on where you're at, you can pay a lot more. And obviously, there's all types of more expensive properties, but you can rent. But I'm talking about a 2 and a 3 bedroom, 2-bath rental. You're probably going to pay around $1,800 up to about $2,500, and sometimes more if it's closer to the beach. So let's talk about taxes. First off, sales tax. The sales tax in Palm Beach County in Jupiter is 7%. So whatever you're buying, you're going to be paying 7% on that. Automobiles, you're going to pay 6% in Florida, and that's statewide. So you just keep in mind, if you're buying an automobile here in Florida, you're going to be paying 6%. Now, when we talk about real estate taxes, the multiplier on real estate taxes is somewhere around 1.06, I think it is. So figure you're going to pay about $1,000 per $100,000 per year on your real estate taxes. Now, you might buy that property and pay, $400,000, and as it goes up, you're going to pay more. So you'll see a property that's for sale for $500,000, but the taxes only reflect that of a $350,000 house. So just keep in mind that they're going to go up. So if you're paying $500,000, you're probably going to end up paying about $5,000 a year. Also, when you sell a property down here, you pay about $7 per thousand. They have a charge to the seller of $7 per thousand when you sell a property. So if you're thinking about investment property, keep that in mind when you go to sell a property. So if you were to sell a property for, $400,000, you're going to pay $2,800 when you go and sell that property. So that's your taxes. When it comes to insurance, everything down here is a little bit more money because we live so close to the water, especially in these areas. And when you get, your homeowner's insurance, it's going to run for, I guess, a $500,000 property. You're probably going to be paying upwards of $4,000 per year just for your homeowner's insurance. And some places you're going to pay even more than that. It could be almost double. So what I've found with the insurers, if you have things done to your house that make it hurricane proof, storm proof, you know, the shutters, the windows, the doors, special things on your roof, that stuff will make your rates go down considerably. Also the type of construction, if it's CBS versus a frame house, you're going to pay less money for your insurance the stronger the house is built. The newer the house, the less you pay for your insurance as well. If it's built after the year 2000, your insurance rates will actually go down. They also take a lot into the age of the roof down here as far as how they insure it, because we get a lot of storm damage and hail damage down here. So you want to keep that in mind when you're buying a house. So all these little things can add up. Your homeowner's insurance can be, you know, like I said, it could be $4,000 or $5,000 a year. It could be $10,000, just depending. But usually there's a spot in between there, and if you shop carriers, you're going to find the best rate with the best coverage for you. Now, one of the ways to get around that is if you buy a property further west, something west of 95, usually the rates go down considerably. Like I said, the closer you are to the ocean, the more money you're going to pay. Also, auto insurance. Auto insurance is very expensive here compared to other parts of the country. And it has to do with, one, Florida drivers are absolutely insane. I mean, they're out of control. And because what you have a lot of people driving slow, and you have a lot of people driving at high rates of speed, and that makes for some nasty, nasty collisions. And I've seen a number of them, and they'll just close the whole highway down until they clean it up, and everyone go on their merry way. But that's one of the reasons, and also because we do live so close to the ocean, you can get a lot of damage from some of these storms, especially if your car's not kept in the garage and things like that. But because you live in Jupiter and it's such an amazing place, I think the costs are outweighed by the quality of life living here. Your utilities, you know, they're going to run about the same as they do throughout the state. So your electric, you know, it just depends on how much you cook, where you keep your AC setting at. I like to keep mine around 73. My place is a condo, and it's only 1,500 square feet, but I run about $150 on average, and that covers my AC, my dryer, my hot water, as well as my cooking. So everything here, my lighting, everything is electric. So you could figure, you could spend a couple $100, depending on the size of your house. You could spend, you know, $300, $400, $500. It just depends. It seems like everything's more efficient down here. It just depends on the size of your house and where you like to keep your AC set at. Some people do put their heat on, I guess, in the middle of winter. I could never do it, just for the principle of the thing. I'm in the Palm Beaches of Florida. Now in Jupiter, your water, your garbage and waste, and your recycling fees, you're probably going to be looking at anywhere from, $75 a month on up, depending on your usage. Now, if you live in unincorporated parts of Jupiter, you're going to be charged another 25% onto your bill, at least onto the water end of it. Also, when you're in a condominium or a townhouse area, or even some of the gated communities, they might cover parts of your waste pickup. There's certain things they might include. They might even include the cable and your internet. It just depends on where you buy. So you want to check that out. Also, when you're looking out there, one of the things that's really not a utility, but is your association. What do they cover? Do they cover the waste? Do they cover water? Do they cover cable? What is included in that fee? And then you can adjust your payment based on that. Food-wise, first we'll talk about grocery stores. There are a ton of grocery stores. There's a bunch of Publix. There's a Fresh Market. There's not a Whole Foods there, but it's not too far. It's in Palm Beach Gardens. There's a lot of delis and places to go and to buy really good fresh food. So you will absolutely not run out of food if you're living in Jupiter. The other thing, the cost of food, it's not any more expensive than it is anywhere else. I'm from the Midwest. Also, the food down here is fresher, I believe, anyways, because Florida is a huge cattle producer. So there's tons of fresh meat here. There's tons of fresh fish. And of course, the vegetables and fruits are always fresh here. So You can usually find things that are locally grown, and you're not really going to pay much more for them. There's even there's roadside type markets where you can pick up some fresh fish and fresh fruits and vegetables while they're in season. You're really not going to pay more for it, but you're going to get a better quality. Let's talk about restaurants. Now, Jupiter has some incredible restaurants at all different price points, but all in all, it has some really good food. So if you're dining out, you're going to find that you're going to get excellent service, and you're going to get some really tasty, delicious food and some of the best seafood you will find. Now, my favorite place to eat in Jupiter is called Little Moore's Food Shack. Now, it doesn't seem like much when you pull up there, but the atmosphere and the food are just incredible. One of my favorite things to eat there is the French onion soup with gorgonzola cheese on top. It's absolutely incredible. It comes out in like a tin cup, and it's piping hot, and it's absolutely delicious. Then I usually go with a catch of the day of some sort, or whatever fish they have. And usually my favorite is a sweet potato crust snapper, and it's served on this salad bed, and it's just really tasty. You can actually split this with another person, and that usually runs around $25 to $28. And so you can get out of there with a couple. If you're splitting, it's going to cost you a little bit less, but for two, if you're both buying the full meals, you're going to end up spending around $75 to $100. But if you're splitting it, you can get out of there for $60. It just depends on how much you drink there. Another place if you want to go, there's called Dive Bar. There's a French restaurant right next to that that's just around the corner from there. A lot of people like Guanabanas, and that has some amazing food and some amazing atmosphere. But a lot of these places, you're going to spend around $25 a plate, and then depending on how much you drink and how much you tip, always give 20% at least. So you're going to find some really good food. If you want to go really high end, you could go up to the Woods, or you can go to 1000 North. Those are owned by Tiger Woods, and then the other one is a Michael Jordan restaurant. And there's a lot of other high-end restaurants you can go to all over the place. And you don't even need to stay in Jupiter. You can go on down into Juno Beach to Palm Beach Gardens, and you'll find plenty of great places to eat. So you can spend about $25 a plate. Now, if you want to go just for lunch or you want something light, you can get away with spending $15 a plate. You're going to, depending on how much you spend on drinks, if you buy hors d'oeuvres, if you buy dessert, but all in all, you're going to get some great food no matter how much you spend, but you don't always have to spend more to get delicious food. And that's why I put Food Shack as one of my favorite places to go. So if you're thinking about moving here, or you just want to buy and sell real estate down in the Palm Beaches, you can get a hold of us by phone, by text, by email. Heck, you can even send me a message in a bottle, because that works too.